Tower 39er Hotel, number 3, follow Cessna ahead of you. Runway 25 right, clear for the option, clear to land.
We are back in Northern California as we visit our next airport for no particular reason other than it's an airport we've never been to. We'll discuss why you should definitely visit the terminal, how only one freeway exit away is one of the most classified national laboratories, and with all the talks about airport closures, this airport actually has a level of protection we've never heard of. All as we visit Livermore Municipal Airport in Livermore, California. We don't usually talk about the METAR, and METAR, for those who don't know, is the information we just displayed, and it's a weather report broadcasted by the airport to let pilots know current conditions. There's much more to it, but in a nutshell, that's it. In the METAR, one of the pieces of information we as pilots get is the barometric pressure in inches of mercury. Today, the air pressure was 3052, which is the highest we've ever seen. Now, some legacy altimeters can only go up to 31 inches of mercury, so on the off chance the air pressure was higher than 31, it would trigger a temporary flight restriction since there would be no way to accurately determine altitude in some aircrafts. Now, some of you might be asking, has it ever gotten above 31 inches? And the answer is yes. In the US, the last time was in Northway, Alaska on January 31st, 1989. We couldn't find it higher in the contiguous states, but if you have, let us know. We'd love to hear what the highest pressures you have flown in. So you heard at the beginning that we were number 3 behind the Cessna. So if you're wondering if this is a busy airport, well, it's the 11th busiest airport in California with 253,000 operations a year. Which, if you watched our Scottsdale video, you know that that's quite a lot. But luckily they have 2 runways. That wasn't always the case though. It was only until 1985 that they added the smaller runway that's here today. During our visit, it seemed most of the operations were student pilots, and there is no commercial traffic, but it does have its fair share of private jets flying in. Alright, let's get down to talking about the airport. Livermore Airport is a Class Delta located about 30 miles east of San Francisco, closer to the California Central Valley. Portions of the Delta airspace is under a 7,000 and 8,000 foot SFO Bravo shelf. Now, you probably won't be that high if you're coming into here, but it's just something to be aware of. As we mentioned earlier, there are 2 runways, 07 left, 25 right at a length a little over 5,250 feet, and the smaller runway just shy of 2,700 feet, all at an elevation of 400 feet, which is great for performance for non-turbo engines like ours, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't worry about density altitude. During the summers, it can reach mid to high 90s, which means density altitude between 2,000 and 3,000 feet, which definitely affects performance, including your approach speeds. And speaking of approaches, there are 3 instrument approaches for 25 right, the ILS, the localizer, and the RNAV, so take your pick. So we constantly hear about airports fighting to stay open like Santa Monica and airports that are being closed like Banning. So it surprised us when we found out that the City of Livermore and Alameda County Land Use Commission adopted an APA, or an Airport Protection Area around the airport. What exactly does that mean? Well, in short, it is an area prohibited from residential development. We had never heard of this at any other airport, but if you have, let us know.
Sierra 39er Hotel, right turn, contact ground.
Right turn, contact ground, 39er Hotel. Livermore ground, number 1939 Hotel, clear of 25 right at Echo for Five Rivers Aviation.
Number 1939 Hotel, Livermore ground, Five Rivers, taxi straight ahead via Echo.
Straight ahead via Echo, 39er Hotel.
We elected to park at the FBO Five Rivers Aviation because we wanted to borrow the crew car to go get some coffee at my wife's favorite place, Story Coffee. Last time we had been was years ago when we used to drive instead of fly, so the area wasn't completely new to us. But we were curious as to why the FBO was called Five Rivers Aviation, and we found that it's the name of the five rivers of India. Just a little fun fact. Now they were awesome because if you're just staying for a couple of hours, they don't charge you for parking, only for fuel, and even their prices are pretty good. Full service is $1 more than self-service, so not bad at all. And if you don't need a crew car and maybe are just coming in for the restaurant, well, in front of the terminal parking are 3 blacktop areas that have the word guest on them. That is all transient parking, which means you can rest assured you'll find free parking when you visit for your $100 burger. So in summary, they have a great FBO with crew cars to visit any nearby places. There's plenty of transient parking, which makes flying here worry-free. And the next two we'll discuss in depth shortly. The on-field restaurant for your $100 burger, and that you can get flight following on the ground, which is one of our favorite features of any airport. We apologize, we usually have taxi audio, but we didn't start recording our audio until we arrived at the run-up. But this gives us a chance to discuss some additional topics. So one exit to the east about 5 miles is one of the most classified and historical laboratories in the US, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. And if you are at all interested in what goes on there, they offer tours. Now, if you'd rather go shopping, 1 mile the opposite way to the west are the San Francisco Premium Outlets. Yes, it's Livermore, and yeah, we don't know why they call it San Francisco Premium Outlets, maybe you guys do. Now, if you'd rather not leave the airport, well, they do have a really nice terminal with a restaurant called Elevation LVK. Unfortunately, they were closed because we arrived on a Monday and they're typically closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. But even with the restaurant closed, Livermore has a really nice terminal/admin building, which have really nice restrooms which can seriously rival some fancy hotels. If you happen to have any questions about the airport, walk through the administration door on the opposite side of the restaurant. We had the pleasure of asking questions about parking, and the gentleman couldn't have been nicer. Now we've heard your feedback in that you'd like for us to film and show what there is to do when visiting these airports. And we're starting to piece it together exactly how we're going to accomplish that. But I'll let you in on a little secret. We are not professional videographers. We are learning this as we go, which is why your feedback has been so valuable and we so appreciate it, so please keep it coming. Rest assured though that the next time we visit Livermore or any other airport, we might just have a new series showing what to do after transient parking. You might know by now one of our favorite features of any airport is asking for flight following on the ground. And Livermore does allow this, so make it easy on yourself and definitely take advantage of that. Next, they do have a voluntary curfew between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., which we feel is one of those small considerations we as aviators can extend to maintain a good relationship with the residents. We had this one on our list for a while, and I know you guys are saying, doesn't he say that all the time? But it's true. With our constant travels back and forth to Northern California, we always flew over it, and I knew my wife would love to go back to her favorite coffee spot. But it truly was such a pleasant experience, and pleasant is the perfect word because everything about the airport was little to no stress. And sitting on the outside terminal benches watching planes and drinking our coffee, sometimes it's just nice to take a breath and appreciate everything that aviation has to offer. And Livermore Airport gave us that breath. So if you're passing through, we highly recommend just visiting once, because if you're like us, you'll find a reason to visit again. The channel has been receiving just an incredibly steady stream of support, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that every morning we look at the comments and subscribers, it's surreal. But our purpose has always been to keep providing encouragement for you to fly, to discover, and for some of you to take you to places you might not have otherwise seen. Thank you all so much for the remarkable support you all have given to us. As always though, we love hearing your stories and feedback, so please keep them coming.
Livermore Tower, Airport 19039 Hotel, holding short 25 right for right downwind departure.
November 19039 Hotel, Livermore Tower, wind 3603, right downwind departure approved, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff.
Right downwind approved, 25 right, clear for takeoff, 39 Hotel.
Thank you all again. We can't wait to read your stories and comments about this airport. We'll see you guys next week, and until then, go fly, go discover.
NorCal Pilatus 12, or correction, Livermore Pilatus 124 Papa Sierra coming up on Sierra from Bravo.
Pilatus 124 Papa Sierra, Livermore Tower, fly direct to numbers, enter right base, runway 25 right, confirm you have information, Bravo.
Direct to the numbers for right base 25 right, affirmative on Bravo, 4 Papa Sierra.
Pilatus 4 Papa Sierra, you are inside an archer on a 6-mile final, runway 25 right, cleared.
Gears up.
Okay, number 1 inside a 6-mile final archer, 4 Papa Sierra, copy.
Archer 97 Foxtrot. You're number 2 following a Pilatus 7 miles north of the field, entering right base. Runway 25 right, cleared for the option. On the go, make right, close traffic, wind calm.
Number 2 for 25 right, looking for that Pilatus, make right traffic afterwards, 97 Foxtrot. Tower Archer 5197 Foxtrot, I have that Pilatus in place.
Archer 97 Foxtrot, roger, that is your traffic to follow.
Follow 97 Foxtrot.
Papa Sierra traffic, 1 o'clock, 3 miles, a Archer indicating 1,800 eastbound.
1 o'clock, 3 miles, looking for the Archer, 4 Papa Sierra.
Archer 939 Hotel traffic,
Got him.
12 o'clock, Pilatus indicating 1,700, directly southbound.
We have traffic inside, no factor, 39 Hotel.
4 Papa Sierra has the Archer.
Archer 39 Hotel, contact NorCal 125.1.